everyone, and welcome back to the Crafty Yellow Camper. And once again we're doing a bit of crafting on the hoof. So I don't have a card to show you at the beginning, but I will have by the end of the video. So we're going to use the Snowman Season stamp set. Now this is a returning favourite from last year's seasonal, and there is a matching punch which punches out this snowman here, his arms and a hat. But we're not actually going to use that one today. We're going to use this one here who looks like he's juggling. Oh, actually, no, that one's juggling. This one, I think, has got his arms up going, yay, it's snowing. So, right, I've done my usual thing and gone ahead and cut some bits and pieces before we get started, so this video isn't too long. So I'll just run through those. I have cut a piece of Night of Navy, the full length of an A4 sheet, so whichever sheet you've got if you're not in the UK watching this, although I don't think I've got anybody outside the UK watching. But it would be nice if I did. And I have folded that in half. You can score it if you wish. I prefer to fold mine rather than just score it because I never get it to line up with a score. So I folded it in half, and then I've folded the top, so the front of the card, in half again because we're going to make an easel card. So I've gone ahead and done all of that. I've then cut some of the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful snowflake papers. Can't get enough of these. I'm going to use this side, the sort of like colour wash side, but you can use whichever side you like. You could use the snowflakes if you want. And I have cut, this piece is cut at 10 centimetres by, let me just check my measurements, 14.3. And this piece is going to go inside the card. So we'll just go on and stick that down. Now, I know probably I'm doing a snowman. I should probably be using snowflakes for a background, but I just thought that was a little bit busy to have a stamped image in front of. So that's why I went for the other side. So again, I'm using wet glue. Just gives me a little bit of wiggle room before it dries and before I press it down properly. So that's the inside of our card. We're going to have that paper there. That paper is actually light enough that you could stamp a greeting in something like Night of Navy on it if you chose to. We're actually going to use a label punch today, but you could just go ahead and stamp straight on there if you were using it for a flat card. Obviously for an easel you need something raised up as a stopper. Okay, so I've then cut another piece of the same cardstock, and this is 10 by 7 centimetres, and that is going to go on the front of our card. So again, I could swap it round if I wanted to. I could have, I suppose, had the snowflakes inside and then that bit on the front, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use the same. That's what I love about our Stampin' Up papers. Both sides are so beautiful. I honestly can say that there's very few paper packs that ever come out where I don't have trouble deciding which side to use. Okay. There's not very many where I go, oh, well, actually, I don't really like that side, so I'll use the other side. Right, okay, so that's on the front there. So we've got the basis of our easel card made already. It's quite quick and simple, as you can see. So we've got some DSP on the inside, designer series paper, is what DSP stands for, in case any of you watching didn't know. And we've got some paper on the front here. So next we need to stamp our image, and I've gone ahead and die cut a stitched rectangle from the stitched rectangle set. Obviously there are lots of different sizes, and I know you can cut a rectangle on a trimmer, but it's really difficult to get that stitched effect. So we are going to stamp our snowman, and we are going to stamp him in Balmy Blue. I do have white craft ink, and if we were stamping on a darker colour we could have stamped him in white craft ink, but obviously it isn't going to show up on Whisper White. For some reason the label on the back of my Balmy Blue ink pad has decided to peel itself off, and it keeps sticking itself to my paper. So we are going to stamp him sort of fairly central, but probably more near the bottom. Okay, let's peel him off there. There we go. There's our little snowman. And then we're going to bring in every crafter's secret weapon, a wink of Stella pen. This is the clear one, and we do sell these. So if anybody hasn't ever come across one before and you see it and like it, please feel free to contact me to order. And I'm just going to colour in along his scarf. Now, wink of Stella pens are alcohol based, so just be careful because the ink we use is a water-based ink, and that can sometimes make it run a little bit. And I'm just going to go round my snowman where I think the snow would land on him. And you probably can't see on the video, but I'll try and hold it up in a minute so to see if you can see how shiny it is. We don't actually have Stampin' Glitter this year in the autumn and holiday seasonal catalogue. I don't know whether Stampin' Up are trying to be a bit more eco-friendly with the whole glitter in the sea thing, or whether they just felt that we'd had it Dazzling Diamonds for long enough. But you can't do Christmas without a little bit of glitter, in my opinion. So I've just gone round the snowman just to highlight the edges, coloured in his snowball buttons, his arms and a few other bits. And I'll lift this up now, and hopefully, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. That's the image. Oh, can't get too close, otherwise you'll go out of focus. I don't think you can see, but take my word for it that it is really, really pretty on the front there. So that's quite simple stamping, you know, one image, one ink colour. You could, if you wanted to, go ahead with one of our blends pens maybe, or a Stampin' Right marker and colour him in with a little bit more shading if you like, but I quite like him quite simple like that. And then this is going to be mounted onto the front of our card. So when you take the card out of the envelope, this will fit in a standard C6 envelope, but the card will be flat. So what we want to do is just adhere the bottom of the stitched rectangle to the front of the card, otherwise it won't stand up. So what I'm going to do, just giving that Wink of Stella a little minute to dry, dries quite quickly. So I'm just going to put some Tombow on the bottom of my panel, but being very careful not to go any further up than halfway, because we need to keep the glue below this fold line. What you could do is put the glue there and just be careful you don't go out too far. I know that we are about half and half with this, so half on the bottom, half on the top, so go slightly lower than halfway up with your glue and you can't really go wrong. Okay, so when we stand the easel up, our snowman's going to stand up like that. So the next thing we need to do is we need to make a stopper for down here so that it stays stood up. And for that, I'm just going to grab a piece of Whisper White and stamp our greeting. Excuse me if I've just disappeared off your screen. Or my hands have disappeared. You never actually get to see me, do you? I'm a bit camera shy. Okay, so we're going to use the greeting Let It Snow. Apparently this year, the experts are saying that the weather so lovely over the summer, but we've had a really good crop of things like chestnuts and sweet chestnuts and conkers and lots of berries, and apparently according to the people in the know that is a sign of a hard winter to come, but we'll see. So I'm using, I can never remember whether this is the lovely label or called something else, but there are two of these punches in the annual catalogue. There's two different shapes, but this one's a perfect shape for creating a stopper. So you can see the greeting fits nicely on there. And this is going to go on to our patterned paper. So quite often if I use this punch, I actually punch another one and make a background for this punch, but because it's onto this dark cardstock, I think we'll get away with that. The only thing I am going to do is just ink around the edge. I don't like plain white edges. If you've watched any of my videos before, you'll probably have worked that out by now. I just like a little bit of something around the outside so it looks a bit finished off. So that's that. Oh, missed a bit at the bottom. There we go. So just gone around that with the same balmy blue ink that we've used to stamp the image. And then he needs to have some dimensionals on the back. I'm thinking sparkle, which is why my head said dimensionals and my mouth said rhinestones, but bear with me on that front. Okay, so we're just going to pop a couple of dimensionals onto the back of our label. Do the old thumbnails in the top trick to lift the tops off. These things get everywhere. I find them all around the house, despite the fact I craft in my craft room. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to stand our easel up and get it roughly where we want to have it. And then what we can do is set down the stopper, our label, there. Don't try and judge it by just opening up the card, because you'll invariably get it in the wrong place. So just sort of hold it back with one finger and you can line it up with the other. So that's that. And remember I said rhinestones? So we have got these gorgeous little holographic snowflakes, which are really pretty. But we've also got, in the Snowflake Splendor Suite, these gorgeous rhinestones. They are so, so lovely. As soon as I saw them in the catalogue, I ordered 2 packs because I knew that I would go through them. So I'm just going to grab my pokey tool. They're 2 colours. I don't know if you can see on the camera. They're 2 different colours. So there's some paler ones and some darker ones, and then there are different sizes. So I'm going to use the paler ones because they are more balmy blue. I think the other ones are better suited to Night of Navy. And we're just going to pop a big one and a little one there, on there. And then we're going to close it up and we're going to do a similar thing on to just that top corner there. Okay, so there we go. Quick and easy card. Easel cards, I think, are sometimes things that are forgotten about because there are so many other fancy folds around, but they do make quite an effective card, and they're really, really quick to make. So I hope you like that card, and I will see you again soon. Happy stamping!